Hello everybody, welcome to Stock Market Analysis. Yesterday I pointed out BNS. I was telling you this was the first stock I was reviewing. I was telling you it's in the buy zone. You can see it came into third standard deviation. I was telling you guys throughout the day to buy it. And let's say whoever bought here around third standard deviation, and today you could have made easily above 1.1% profit. And I was telling you guys these updates I was giving you throughout the day, morning, even at pre-market in the morning. I told you guys it's in the buy zone, and it came and easily 1% trade, easy gains, and now it's still in the buy zone. But I took my profits, and I'll wait for another setup. And throughout the day, I was giving you zones, buy and sell zones for Nasdaq, for US 500. You can see how nicely this morning I gave you pre-market the zones. It touched the buy zone, came below and bounced, massive bounce. So if you looked at my pre-market video and if you bought at the touch of this standard deviation, you would have made easily to the top around 1.15% on Nasdaq. It was a great trade. And if you guys are liking trades like this, there is a membership option in the description of the video. You can click join button. You can join second membership option, which includes all the updates I'll be giving you guys throughout the day, pre-market, during the day zones and stocks to buy, which will be very helpful for you. And if you guys are liking the content, and if you don't want to pay, that's fine. I will be releasing end of day updates, and I will giving you zones for tomorrow's trade, and you can go through that. Please hit the like button, guys, if you like the content. Share it with your friends and family, and help grow the channel. I think that's what our goal is. Okay, guys, so let's review the zones very quickly for tomorrow, stocks that are in buy zone, and I will go through them, and then eventually we'll go through analysis on a longer time frame, daily and longer time frame, and then we'll review quick commodities and other sectors. Okay, so as of today, the stocks that are in buy zone are wheat. So I just took a trade on wheat towards the end of the day. You can see it's touching the buy zone. So WE80, this is the ETF you should be looking to buy, and you can see nicely it's touching the buy zone. So from here, anywhere from here to the sell zone, we can have easily 5% profit. So we'll see how it tomorrow goes, but it's in the buy zone here. Natural gas came to buy zone a couple of times. I was telling you guys this is in the buy zone, so this is still in the buy zone, but now it's in the middle. So wait for it to fall below 2.64 to buy again. And gold, it's in near the sell zone, so no trades here in gold. And let's quickly look at sectors. These are the zones. So US 500 is in the middle, nothing to do here. And US 100, it was in buy zone, but now it's in the middle, nothing to do here. If it falls in this zone, buy. If it goes above red, sell. So I'm expecting a lot of chop in the market from now until October. So it's going to be traders market. So it's very important to have these zones in front of you, so you can do trades. You can take a screenshot when I'm giving you, and you can have lines. You can draw lines in your chart, and you can look to trade. US 230 came to second standard deviation in the sell zone. It sold off heavily. US 2000, you can see it came close to buy zone, and now it came to sell zone and then selling off. Crude oil in the middle, no trades here. And let's quickly look at stocks. Pfizer came to the buy zone this morning. Let me hide extended market session. I had it for Meta's earnings. You can see it touched the buy zone and then bounced right away. Disney came to the buy zone a couple of times. I gave you guys these levels, so now it's in the middle. I'll wait for it to fall below buy zone. Hang Seng Index close to the sell zone. This is a good time to short. Bitcoin, I gave you guys an update. I told you guys this is a good time to buy Bitcoin. And now since the buy zone, if you guys looked at my updates throughout the day, since the buy zone, now it's at 1.92%. And this came to third standard deviation. That was a perfect time to sell, not selling off. So basically still in the sell zone. Ethereum, same thing, came to the buy zone and then bounced from the buy zone to the top. It's around 2.2%. So again, it's in the sell zone, no trades here. Let's look at copper in the middle. Corn came to the buy zone. It's still very close to the buy zone. If it falls below 5.67, look to buy. And let's see what else is there. Sugar is very close to the buy zone. You can look at these levels. Let's look at stocks, which gold miners. In the middle, nothing to do here. Newmont Mine came just as the buy zone and bounced right away, but now it's in the middle. And let's XLK. I was giving you update. You can see XLK. I gave you an update this morning. Look to buy it below this, and I was telling you it's in the buy zone. Throughout the buy zone to the top, it's around 1% profit, easy 1% profit during the day. If you listen to my videos, you can see it's still posted there. Tesla test buy zone, and then in the middle now Netflix is in the buy zone now, a little bit bounced towards the end, but still a healthy buy zone. Microsoft very close to the buy zone. And let's look at Amazon. This was in the buy zone. I told you guys in the morning it's in the buy zone, and whoever took this trade had a profit. Snowflakes is still in the buy zone. AMD very close to the buy zone. You can take a screenshot of these levels. NVDA is in the middle. Let's look at anything else. Shopify came to the buy zone and bouncing very close there. Let's look at anything else which is in the buy zone. Starbucks still close to the buy zone. TELUS in the buy zone near second standard deviation. Bell is in the buy zone. And let's see what else is here. X, this is Canadian listing stock. It's like NASDAQ, so it's very close to the buy zone. 29.3 is the buy zone. Keeping an eye on this for tomorrow. And BN, nothing here. And at the end, Zoom and Target, they bounced from the buy zone. Zoom bounced from the buy zone this morning. I gave you this in pre-market, and it bounced almost 3%. So good trades here. Okay, so now let's review daily charts of crypto. Let's go to daily chart. Let's get rid of our standard deviations, and let's bring in these SMA lines. So crypto is looking good. It's holding this, you can see this 50 daily SMA. It's holding this line and it's bouncing. So could this be the bottom? We have to see. It really needs to close above this white line, which is 20 EMA, which is right now around 29,770. Now if Bitcoin bounced, I won't be surprised because it touched the buy zone here and now it's bouncing. So don't be surprised if it bounced. But if it comes down, look to buy on this trend line. If it does not, then it's already touched it. So basically it's very close to finding the bottom. Look to buy it. Any weakness, and I do expect Bitcoin to go towards new high for this year. Around 34-35k is my target. Ethereum, same thing, in the middle, came right on this trend line and then bouncing from here. Actually, let's quickly look at Bitcoin. Did it print any green dots yet? No green dots yet. So I want to see green dot printed here, and I want to see green line cross red line. Still that did not happen, so we'll see. But let's go to 1 hour chart. I want to show you something and see if there's any divergences happening. We made a new low, but no divergence here. So it looks like now it's going back. We can see on 1 hour chart, this is big resistance here. So if I draw a box here, you can quickly see, it's easy to see here on Bitcoin. This box here is a resistance box, so it's going there and now selling off. So it really wants to, it should really cross above this resistance box and back into this channel, this red channel, to be bullish. Now the only issue is I don't see that divergence on 1 hour chart. I want to see, you can see no divergence. I want to see like this here, made new low with the higher momentum on PPO and RSI, but I don't see that. So it seems like a Bitcoin can make another attempt to a new low just to create a divergence before bouncing. So just be mindful of that. So look to buy any weakness here. Ethereum, same thing. Look to buy on this trend line, right on where it should be bouncing. It's bouncing from there. Okay, so that's for crypto. Let's quickly look at VIX. VIX is down, but VIX could be ready to bounce. So basically, it had a little bit bounce. Now it's selling off again. But my projection is still here. I'm looking for a choppiness and then eventually a bounce on VIX, which will be very, very bearish for S&P 500. And this is S&P 500. Let's look at SPY. So this was my projection on SPY, and it made a new high, looks like today, with still divergences. So, and if I go to 1 hour chart to show you here, you can see it made a new high, just touched it, but still massive divergences here. So we're losing the window of opportunity to get this low here. So it is quite possible that this could be the low here. So just be mindful of that. And then it's possible we're gonna go and eventually go lower here. I think I'm leaning towards this. So I was expecting a pullback, major pullback to here. We might not get that. If we don't get that, then probably S&P 500 is holding very strong, and eventually it's gonna keep dragging here, bouncing here, and then eventually go. So it's gonna be a trader's market. So it's gonna be basically bouncing between support and resistance, and then eventually come lower later on. Nasdaq 100, basically, I do want this to go to this low here, but looks like stocks are holding well, and they did the rebalancing. But let's see if we go to this trend line now, or if we're gonna bounce. Let's say it's quite possible that this low is already formed here, and it might be possible that it will go higher to make a new high before going lower, or maybe make a double top and then go lower. So we'll see. We'll wait for this. Okay, so this is my projection on Nasdaq. Just remember that on 1 hour chart, there's a gap here. So it's quite possible we're going to fill this gap before going lower. So, and Meta earnings came good after hours. So there will be some positive momentum tomorrow. Dow Jones, not listening to me. Looks like it wants to keep going higher. That's okay. We are traders, but it's very oversold. You can see here very oversold territory. Looking for weakness before going higher. IWM looks like it is green, but there are some gaps here, so just be mindful of that. Looks very extended, so any pullback will be healthy for IWM, but can still go towards 2000. So I think it can still go and make a new high around 2000 before going lower. So it can go a little bit more higher and then come back to fill this gap. So that's quite possible. So looking for that. Let's quickly look at commodities here. I already looked at wheat, but let's look at wheat with some moving averages. So wheat, basically massive bounce out of this bullish falling wedge, bounce, back tested, bounce, and now again back below this 200 and EMA and SMA. These are blue, light blue and dark blue lines. These are 200 EMA and SMAs. But that's okay, nothing to worry. It made a new high. You can see trend is still higher, made a new high. We can afford a higher low. As long as this low is above this and not goes below this trend line, we are good. I think eventually we are heading to a new all-time high. So there's a lot of room there for wheat to go higher. Natural gas, very good. It was basically on this trend line, still above this trend line, and came very close to the buy zone I showed you on shorter time frame. So look to buy the dip on natural gas. So any pullbacks you should be looking to buy. Crude oil in the middle of two zones broke out. So you can see above, you can see it broke out, back tested, now going higher. It can afford a back test and then go higher. We'll see how it goes, but just keep an eye on this zone here. If it comes back to this zone, that will be a good support. We don't want this to fall below this zone. If it falls below, then it's going to come back to the bottom of the channel. Gold daily chart looking good, but there is this resistance here. You can see this resistance area here. So we'll see if gold passes that resistance or it's going to fail. But eventually I'm looking for gold to show some weakness into the end of the, not end of the year, like into end of August. So all weaknesses, look to buy gold on that weakness. Silver, again, same thing, looking for pullback to this trend line, but it was just follow gold. So any weakness in gold, silver will follow that same. Let's look at Hang Seng Index daily chart. You can see it's struggling to cross above this 200 EMA, but it's staying positive above this 200 SMA dark blue line. So it's finding support there. As long as it's finding support, it can make a little bit of flag, a little bit more bounce, chop here, and then eventually break out. So that's perfectly fine. But looking very good. Hang Seng Index, China is looking better and better. So I'm looking for a little bit of chop here. So basically chop here and then eventually break out of this line. You really need to cross above this 200 EMA to be bullish. Covered crypto bonds by the dip in the buy zone, now going higher. So TLT is something you can look to buy. Dollar breaking down where it should exactly. So that's going to be bullish for gold and crypto. We'll see how it goes. But if dollar goes above this resistance here, above this white line, which is 20 EMA line, that's going to be very bearish. So keep an eye on that. But longer term, looking for this to fail and go lower. Copper came to buy zone yesterday, massive bounce. So it's buy the dip. It's holding above these 200 EMA and SMA lines. So everything is good. So copper is looking good for the longer run. CPER is the ETF. Corn basically bounce, tried to close above this 250 SMA line. Still not able to close above that. But looks like it's making higher highs and higher lows. So it's looking good. Look to buy weakness. CORN is the ETF you can buy. Soybeans new high, looking very bullish. Looks like no divergences on PPO, a little bit divergence on RSI, that's okay. SOYB, so it's by the dip. Sugar rejected on this trend line. So I really want sugar to close above this 50 SMA red line to be bullish again, but it's holding this white line. So this could be another higher low before going higher. We will see. So look to buy sugar. Sugar commodity is looking really good. Cane is the ETF you can look to buy sugar. Okay, we covered these sectors. Gold miners, look to, so you can see this trend line. Support here, again support here. We could come back. There's a massive gap here. If we come back to 30, around 30.24, look to buy there. That will be a good support. There's also a gap here. So look to buy any weakness in gold and gold miners. XLK came to the buy zone, I told you, and if I go to 1 hour chart, there's a gap here, so looks like that gap will be filled. So now looks like we're getting ready for another pump higher before we go lower. Okay, that's my projection on XLK. XLE flat, multiple gaps, so looking for weaknesses here. XLV, let's go to 1 hour chart, looks like we fill this gap, so we can get rid of this. And but there's another gap here. So we'll see if it goes, there's another gap to the top, multiple gaps to the bottom. Maybe it wants to fill that gap first and go lower. So that's my projection. Utility stock flat. Let's go to 1 hour chart. Looks like came very close to this gap here and still not filled. So we'll leave it there. Look to buy any weakness in utilities. XLI. Looks like gap up. So gap up, another gap created here. Look to buy any weakness. Boeing was very bullish, so it's going to be buy the dip now. So any weakness, look to buy industrial real estate sector, 0.36 up. There's a gap here. Looks like it wants to fill that before going lower. So we'll update this projection like this. Financials keeping high hopes, but it's forming some divergences. You can see PPO a little bit going higher price, little bit going lower, very oversold. Look to take profits. This is a good time to take profits on financial. KRE. Wells Fargo announced a buyback, so looking bullish, but let's see. We made a new high on some divergence on RSI, no divergence of PPO. Looks like we made a inverse head and shoulder, and now the target could be higher. So if I draw a trend line from here to here, the target would be, let's say, depends on when we break out, we're getting very close to the target, but this sell-off here was very brutal. Will we get a straight line up? We will see, but we're getting very close to the target of this inverse head and shoulder. Any dips, it's going to be buy the dip. So look to buy the dip on KRE. Tesla daily chart. Let's hide these. Okay, we'll leave this. It's finding resistance on this white line, which is 20 EMA. And it needs to close above that to be bullish, but there's also a massive gap here. It could go fill this gap and go down. That's quite possible. So keep an eye on that. It doesn't need to go to this trend line right now. So it is quite possible from here Tesla can go fill this gap and then come back down, because I do expect a little bit of bounce in indices. So if we buy Tesla now to this gap fill, it's around 10% upside. So keep an eye on that. Netflix, same thing. Multiple gaps to the top, to the down, but I prefer it's finding support on this trend line. So it is quite possible we can jump from here and then come back later on, quite possible. So keep an eye on that. It can go do this and come back here, or it can directly go from here down and then come back there to fill this gap. Okay, but for now, let's keep our hopes like this. This is a good time to buy Netflix, in my opinion. Google, massive gap up, but with divergence, huge divergence. You can see on PPO, RSI, new high is made on divergence. So that's telling me it's most likely going to fail. So we'll see how it goes. Microsoft, again, dumping, looking for this to sell off on this trend line, holding on this 50 EMA, but a little bit more weakness looking for that. Apple holding on this wedge, looks like it will hold it until earnings are out, but massive divergences are happening here, so keep an eye on that. Meta bounced massively. Let's see, 6.8% after earnings. So 2.43% up, and revenue is up. But it looks like it's tagging. Maybe it's making a double top. Maybe it's back testing. You can see it broke down. Now this will be a back test of this trend line. Will it fail after that? The only issue is this massive divergence. So even if you get a new high, it will be on divergence. That will show new lows might be coming. Amazon right on this trend line, touched this trend line. So this was a good time to buy Amazon. Let's go to 1 hour chart and see if it filled. Yeah, it filled this gap, so you can get rid of this. So there's still gaps down, but Amazon is sitting right on this trend line. This is where I will be looking to buy Amazon. I will be looking to buy it Amazon this support, not on resistance. So from here, Amazon can go up and then come back later. So this is a good time to buy Amazon. So I'll keep a very close eye on Amazon. Snowflake, let's go to 1 hour chart. Let's see, gap down, mainly due to Microsoft earnings. Not interested here. NVDA, multiple gaps, not interested in NVDA, looking for lower prices. AMD, chips going lower. Right below this, all moving averages, close below that, looks very bearish. So looking for lower prices on these. Okay, guys, I think that's about it. So, yeah, if you're still here, you like the content, please hit the like button. There's a thumbs button there. Hit the like on your way out and share with your friends and family. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.